I've pretty much one-tricked Lifeweaver since release, putting in countless hours and picking up a ton while trying to squeeze as much value out of him as possible to climb the ranks and carry games, and I wanted to share everything I know. So here's every tech, trick, and tip I've learned for every hero. Before we get into the video, first I want to share a general tip. Lifeweaver can flick his heals around almost every shield in the game. Mauga's cage fight, Orisa's shield, Rammatra's shield, Reinhardt's, and Sigma's, with the only two exceptions being Winston's bubble, as it is a literal bubble with no way in, and Symmetra's photon barrier, as it encompasses the whole map from top to bottom, left to right. Also, Lifeweaver's heal blossom will travel to their target no matter what, even doing complete 180s mid-flight, following Tracer through her recall, or even no-clipping through the map to get there. As long as it doesn't get eaten or blocked by a shield, it will always reach its target. When a diva gets demeched and they have their bomb, they'll usually use it to remech for free. Well, when they try to do this, pedal up the bomb, safely discarding the bomb, and then it leaves the baby diva an easy kill. Against diva's bomb, if it's low enough to the ground, you can safely pedal up above it. If the diva throws the bomb in the air, you can either dash for cover or place a pedal underneath the bomb to catch the bomb, keeping you safe from it. If there's no nearby cover and your pedal's on cooldown, you can use your tree as a last resort to block the bomb, but it will almost destroy the tree. Playing against diva, it's a good idea to have a pedal already placed, so that when she dives you and destroys your pedal, you already have another one to buy you some extra time. When trying to heal your teammates against a diva, try to weave your blossoms in between her matrix usage. When she's holding matrix, keep charging your blossom, and then as soon as you see her drop the matrix, send your blossom. There's multiple ways you can counter a Doomfist's ultimate. The first one is to pedal yourself up out of it. If you're not in the Doomfist's ultimate, you can throw a pedal where he lands because they usually like to punch straight away, and this will completely counter his punch. You can also bait a Doomfist into wasting their ultimate. Just pedal up, and then drop down. You can also use your tree to block Doomfist's ultimate if you have nothing else. When playing against a Doomfist, it's important to keep your dash for his punch, as you can easily dodge it. Also, Doomfist's empowered punch into a wall counts as a negative effect for the Cleansing Grasp minor perk. You can easily dodge a Hazard's ultimate by lifting a pedal and then stepping underneath it. You can also pull teammates out of Hazard's ultimate. Another way to block Hazard's ultimate is by placing your tree just in front of you. The tree acts as an umbrella and blocks the ultimate. You can pedal yourself up if you get caught by Hazard's ultimate to give you some extra safety, but it won't remove the effect. This also works on teammates. If a Hazard places his wall on a pedal and you destroy your pedal, it will destroy the wall. You can use this to stop the Hazard from being able to wall chokes by placing your pedal in the choke. This also works with your pedal in the air. Be very careful playing against a Hazard, especially if they have this perk, or increases the damage to enemies above 250 health by 50%. Lifeweaver gets really destroyed by this perk, because Lifeweaver is 275, Hazard can mill you so quick. For Junker Queen, you can pull a teammate as they're about to get axed to completely deny the axe. If you get hit by Queen's knife, it's important to make distance early before she pulls it, as if you try to use your dash when she pulls it, you won't go anywhere. When you think Junker Queen has her ultimate, you can tree early to build overhealth and completely negate the damage her ultimate does. You can also block her rampage with tree, but it's really hard to do and I wouldn't recommend trying it much. For the Cleansing Grasp perk, all of Junker Queen's bleeds count as a negative effect and will reduce the cooldown.
Safety in numbers.
And if you pull a teammate with a knife in them, the knife won't reactivate the bleed when the Junker Queen calls it back. Cleansing Grasp also completely cleanses her ultimate. If you get trapped in Mauga's ultimate, you can place a tree in the middle, then place a pedal, and you will be very safe up top and the Mauga won't be able to shoot the pedal very easily. If you place the pedal on the outer edges of the cage, it will just pull you back down, so you need to make sure you place the pedal in the middle. You can also flick your healing blossoms under or over the cage, depending on the height you're at, to heal teammates inside the cage. When a Mauga is low, they'll use their cardiac overdrive to try and regenerate their health. It can be a good idea to pull a teammate when they try to do this to completely deny it. A lot of Maugas, when they use their ultimate, they will run in, stomp, and use their ultimate. When they do this, place a pedal under them, and it will make the cage activate on top of the pedal, attaching to no one. If you have your tree, you can place it under the pedal as well, so that when the pedal lowers, the lower half of the cage will still be able to be shot through and healed through. Also, Mauga's fire from his guns counts as a negative effect for the perk, and if they have the Firewalker major perk, the fire effect from that also counts. Against Orisa's ultimate, you can either dash out, pedal the Orisa up, or pedal yourself up to completely dodge the ultimate. Often, Orisas will try to spear spin javelin combo your teammate off of the map or round a corner. It's important to look for this and pull your teammate when they try to do this. Also, Orisa's javelin counts as a negative effect. When Rammatra pops his ultimate, you can pull your teammates out of it to make the Rammatra ultimate end really quickly.
We can protect each other now.
If you get hit by Ravenous Vortex, you can pell yourself out of it, or if you're on legacy controls, you can simply dash out. You can throw a pell at your feet on reaction to seeing a Reinhardt shatter to protect you while you're stunned. When you think Reinhardt has ultimate, it can be good to pre-place a pedal, so that when you think he's going to go for it, you can take your pedal up and be safe, and then whoever gets shattered, you can pell and pull most of them. You can also stay on high ground when you think the Reinhardt has shatter, and then pell and pull anyone who gets shattered. Also, when playing against a Reinhardt, try to stay on high ground, as then it will be really hard for him to contest you. If the Reinhardt tries to contest your high ground, dash and pell to another nearby high ground, and then just keep repeating this over and over. Also, Reinhardt's pin counts as a negative effect, but only if it wall splats. When playing against a Roadhog, you need to be really thinking about your tree placement, as when the Roadhog has ultimate, if you place it nearby him, he's just going to destroy it instantly with his whole hog. You can throw a pell on the Roadhog as he hooks a teammate, and it will completely mess up his follow-up shots. For his pig pen, unlike Rammatra's Vortex, you can dash out even without legacy controls. You can also pell out of it. For Sigma's ultimate, you can throw a pell underneath you and your teammates, and instead of getting slammed to the ground, you'll get slammed onto the pell, keeping you safe from the Sigma. You can also throw a pell under you and your team if you've already been lifted, and it will instantly lift you up. Lifeweaver is really good at shield break, so when playing against Sigma, farm his shield, and then when he uses E, go back to healing your teammates and wait for the automatic reload, and then go back to farming his shield. Also, you can't block Sigma's flux with your tree anymore, or with your pell. When Winston leaps in, you can place and lift a pell in the middle of his bubble to steal it, leaving him vulnerable. If you get primal raged, you can either dash through it to confuse and disorient the monkey, or you can dash in the direction you're being hit to stack the momentum and gain distance from the monkey. If a Winston tries to leap up to your pell, break the pell so you don't take damage from them landing on you. Against Ball, you can pull a teammate through his mines to clear a path through them and wipe out a ton of them. You can also use your pell and your tree to clear some more. You can pell yourself up after being pile drived to protect you from any follow-up shots. Or you can pell the Ball instead. If Ball tries to pile drive your pell, make sure to break it before he hits it to make him miss. When playing against Zarya and you think she has ultimate, try to play where there is no roof above you or the ceiling is very high, so that if you get grabbed, you can easily pell out. If you don't have your pell, or you're not able to lift yourself up, you can also use your tree to protect you and your team while you're grabbed. If you're not caught in Zarya's grab, you can also pull someone out and pell up the rest. For Ashe, you can place a pell under Bob to lift him up, and as long as you don't go too far away, you'll be protected underneath the pell from Bob. You can also use Tree to block Bob's line of sight to your team. And Ashe's Dynamite counts as a negative effect for Cleansing Grasp. Playing against Bastion, you need to be careful to use your tree when his sentry mode is on cooldown, otherwise he'll just instantly destroy your tree with it. If you're on your pell, and Bastion targets his ultimate underneath your pell, you will still get hit on top of the pell, but there won't be any warning or sound. You need to be careful against Bastion's ultimate as well, as a good Bastion will bait you into pulling a teammate and then target you. For Cassidy's High Noon, you can use your tree as makeshift cover to hide from his ultimate. Also, as a last resort, you can try to pull your teammate as he shoots his ultimate, which will protect them from the shot. If you get flashbanged, you can quickly pell yourself up to protect you from most of the follow-up. Or you can pell up the Cassidy instead. If you need some cover against a Cassidy's High Noon, look down and to the right and place a pell. You can then hide behind this pell what sticks up in front. Against Echo, if a teammate gets stuck by her stickies, you can pull them to negate the damage. Also look to pull your teammates when they're below half and being beamed. For Freya's bowler shot, you can throw a pell on top of it to block the damage. You can also block it with tree. It's important to know that as Lifeweaver against Freya, you can survive 2 of her explosive bolts, as Lifeweaver is 275. Freya's bowler shot ultimate also counts as a negative effect. When playing against Genji, you want to keep your distance at all times by using your petal and your dash, as if Genji gets close to you, he'll be able to easily free-shot you due to Lifeweaver's huge hitbox. When Genji Dragon Blades, look to pull and pell who he targets to keep them safe from the blade. Make sure he commits to them first though, before you pull them, otherwise you can end up getting yourself and your teammates killed. It's important to know that Hanzo's dragon can actually damage and destroy your petal and tree, so be careful where you place them. Also, as Lifeweaver, you can survive a fully charged arrow to the head. If a teammate gets separated from you by Hanzo's dragon, you can safely pull them through the dragon and they won't take any damage. Against Junkrat's Riptire, if they have the Nitro Boost minor perk and they use it, Lifeweaver can actually live the full damage of it, as the damage gets reduced if they use the boost. When playing against a Junkrat, try to position on high grounds or on top of your pell to make it a lot harder for them to hit you. When playing against a good Junkrat, they will often use their Riptire to bait pull first and then get a free multi-kill, so try not to get baited into pulling a teammate before the Junkrat actually commits the Riptire to them. If you get trapped by Junkrat's steel trap, you can pell yourself up and out of it to break free from the trap. If a teammate gets stuck in Mei's Blizzard, pell them up when they're about to freeze. This will protect them from the Mei below. You can also counter Mei's Blizzard by placing a tree between the drone in the middle and your teammates. If a teammate gets walled off by Mei, you can pedal up and pull them to safety. If the wall is further away, jump to get extra height and then pull them. When an enemy Mei uses their ice block, lift it up with your pedal. Then, as it's about to end, drop the pedal and the Mei will fall out of the air, disorientating them and leaving them vulnerable, leading to a free kill. You can also instantly break Mei's wall with your tree. And Mei's primary freeze spray counts as a negative effect. So does her Cryostorm perk, and also her Blizzard ultimate. Often when a Pharah goes for barrage, they will stop shooting and drop out of the sky. Look for this pattern and pull your teammate when it happens. You can use your tree to block barrage and kill the Pharah, but it's really hard to do and very risky, as it can get your tree instantly destroyed. For positioning against Pharah, use your pell over and over to stay mid-air as much as possible and make it much harder for the Pharah to hit you with her missiles. When playing against Reaper, keep your distance, and stay on your pell or high ground as much as possible to massively negate the damage he does to you. If he tries to teleport to your pell, break it and dash away, creating distance from the Reaper and making them fall to the floor. When you see a Reaper teleporting in, place a pell under them to avoid any follow-up shots or their ultimate. When playing against Sojourn, try to stay in cover when she has her rail charged, otherwise she can very quickly kill you. When a teammate is taking a fight with a Sojourn, try to pull them as she goes for the rail, to make her waste her rail and save your teammate. Also be aware that Sojourn can charge her rail shot off of your tree and pell, and sometimes it might be best to break them to prevent her from building her rail shot, or stopping it from decaying. When fighting a soldier, place your pell under them when they use their heal pad to lift them out of it and stop the heals, making for a much easier fight. Also, when they use Tactical Visor, you can use your tree to block line of sight, keeping you safe from their visor. You can also pell yourself up, which works really well too. For playing against Sombra, stay on top of your pell. She then either has to teleport up, making it an easy kill with no escape option, or she has to hack your pell to force you back down, which reveals her and makes for another easy kill. Lifeweaver is also amazing at spy checking Sombra due to his weapon's rate of fire and spread. You should always be taking advantage of this to easily shut down a Sombra. When you think a Sombra has EMP, keep your distance, and when your team gets EMP'd, use your tree. It will instantly heal back the damage dealt by the EMP and keep your team healed while they're hacked. Sombra's hack also counts as a negative effect. So does her virus. And her EMP. You can instantly break a Symmetra's teleporter with your tree. You can also place and lift a Pell next to Symmetra's teleporter to steal it and leave her with no escape. Just make sure not to hit the teleporter directly when you throw the Pell, otherwise it will bounce off to the side. It's important to know when playing against Symmetra, she can charge her beam up to level 3 off of your tree and Pell, so be wary of giving her max charge, she can easily kill you with it. Against Torbjorn, never let him have his turret up. Lifeweaver has no fall off damage, so you can kill his turret very quickly, even from super far away. Also be aware that Torbjorn's Molten Core ultimate can damage your tree and Pell and very quickly destroy them. Because of this, good Torbjorns will often keep their ultimate until you use your tree, and then quickly burn and destroy your tree. To avoid this, Pell up and place your tree on top of the Pell. This will make it a lot harder for the Torbjorn to use their ult on your tree. Tree can also one-shot Torb's turret if you really need it gone. When playing against Tracer, it can be a good idea to pre-place a Pell, so that when she engages on you, you have 2 Pells worth of time to stay away from her. This is also very strong to do when she has her Pulse Bomb, as it will make it much harder for her to stick you with her Pulse Bomb. Keep an eye on your other teammates when you think she has her Pulse Bomb, especially your other support, as she'll usually try to stick you or the other support, then pull them when they get stuck, and it will entirely negate the damage and save your teammate. If her Pulse Bomb lands on the ground next to you, you can block the damage from it with your tree. You can also use your Pell. Against a Venture in Burrow, lifting them up with Pedal and then breaking it can reset the charge on their Burrow, or end their Burrow if it's near the end of the timer. You can also do this by throwing and instantly breaking a Pell, but this method is much harder to do and a lot more inconsistent. One of the pros of this method though is that you don't have to be on the Pell and can do it from very far away. The reason this tech works is because Pell raises them slightly off of the ground. So when you break the Pell, they are in the falling state of Burrow for a split second. This is the Burrow falling state I'm talking about. You can see if their Burrow timer runs out during this state, the Burrow simply ends, and the Venture returns to their normal state. Against Venture's ultimate, you can simply pedal up and they won't be able to hit you at all. You can also use your tree to provide protection for your whole team. When playing against Widow, it's important to stay in cover as much as possible, as she can easily one-shot you, and be very wary of using your Pell, as this often makes you an even easier kill for the Widow. If you see the Widow scoping in on someone other than yourself, you can very quickly kill her due to your low spread, 2x headshot modifier, and no damage fall off. Widow's Venom Mine counts as a negative effect too. For Ana, you can time your tree perfectly to heal everyone as the anti ends. Her anti-nade also counts as a negative effect. If you pull a sleeping teammate, it's important to know that they won't wake up. You should either Pell a sleeping teammate up to safety, or pull them to you and then Pell them up. Or, if you have Cleansing Grasp, you can just pull them because it will wake them up. There isn't much you can do against Baptiste, and you should avoid fighting him at all costs as you won't win. But one thing you can do is you can one-shot his Immortality Drone with your tree. When playing against Brigitte, when you're not busy healing, farm her shield. Lifeweaver has really good shield break. This puts a lot of pressure on the Brigitte and forces her to play safer. When Brig pops her rally on a teammate, pull them out quickly, so that they don't get comboed by her. When Illari uses her ultimate on a teammate, wait until they start to explode to pull them, to avoid the explosion's damage. Or if you have Cleansing Grasp, you can just pull them whenever, because it will cleanse and remove her ultimate. If the Illari tries to ult you, you can Pell up to avoid it. You can also block it with Tree. Or if she tries to hit you with it on your Pell, break the pedal before it gets there. You can also one-shot her pylon with Tree, if you really need to. And if the Illari has the Sunburn major perk, what makes her dash set people on fire, it counts as a negative effect. You can dodge Juno's torpedoes by placing and lifting a Pell on you at the right time. You can also lift and step off of a Pel. There's barely anything you can do against Kiriko, but one thing you can do is you can place a tree as she uses her ultimate to block her ultimate. The ultimate will then only be a tiny section. Against Lifeweaver, when you're not healing your teammates, break his pedal. You can break it really quickly, and you already know your team isn't going to shoot it for you. Also, if you're confident in your aim, or especially if you have Life Cycle, Super Bloom, or both, and the enemy Lifeweaver doesn't have one of these or either, you can easily 1v1 them and win. Life Cycle and Super Bloom make a massive difference in your 1v1 potential. And if the enemy Lifeweaver is staying safely uncontested on top of his pedal, you can just easily pedal up to him yourself and kill him yourself. If you place and lift a Pel under an enemy Lifeweaver's Pel, it will break it, leaving them Pelless and an easy kill. When played against Lucio, it's important to stay on height, especially on maps with an off map, so that you have a better angle to pull teammates who get booped off the map. You can see when I'm on low ground, I lose the angle to pull them much quicker. When playing against Mercy, and you're not busy healing your team, tag her with your fawns as much as you can. This stops her health from regenerating and keeps her low, making her a much easier kill for you and your team. You can cancel a Mercy's resurrect by pedaling her up as she goes for it. Just make sure not to lift up the soul. Or you can lift up only the soul, but this requires you to stand on the pedal to lift it up. When 1v1ing a Moira, dash into her face and stand still. This gets you as close as possible to hit as many shots as possible, and standing still makes it easier for yourself to aim, while having no effect on the Moira's aim as it locks onto you anyway. When Moira uses her Coalescence, you can use your Pel to block most of it. This, combined with your dash, should be enough to keep you alive throughout the whole duration. When you see a Zen charging up their volley on a teammate, pull the teammate as he fires, to make them entirely dodge the damage. That's all the Lifeweaver tech, tricks and tips I've picked up over the countless hours. If you've got any of your own, put them in the comments below. And I'll see you next video, all live on my Twitch. Bye!